שמדמים את עצמנו, צריכים לדמות.
We should resemble ourselves to infants and understand that the big desire we get from society and the many discernments we need to get from the Torah, the reforming light, they build the vessel. Once the vessel's ready, this readiness itself, it's like pressing a button, and it takes me to that second channel. Meaning, my preparation itself, once it ends, it opens that second channel. Not that the first channel disappeared, but the second channel was ended.
אצלי הם מתחברים להרמוניה אחת. אז ברור לי שבערוץ הראשון אין לי מה לעשות בו, אני כבהמה, בין היתר הבהמות, כמו שכתוב, כולם כבהמות נדמו, חי, ואין כאן שום מעשה בעולם הזה, בערוץ הזה, אלא הכל הוא יורד מהערוץ יותר עליון, מעולם העליון, וכל ההתקדמות שלי דווקא בערוץ העליון, שבו נפתח לי ממש המדרגות, הערוצים הנוספים, העליונים יותר ויותר ויותר, בהתאם כל פעם להכנה שלי, שהיא אותה הכנה שרצון אני מקבל כמה שאני מתחבר ליתר הנשמות, בנקודה שבלב שלי המקורית מתחבר ליתר נשמות, ביתר כמות וביתר עוצמה, ומביא לחיבור שלי, האור מחזיר למוטב כל פעם שבא לי ממדרגה יותר עליונה, הסמוכה עליי, שמתקן לי את החיבור עם האחרים, במקום שנאה לאהבה, ואז בכלי הזה המשותף, אני מגלה עוד תוספת בערוץ השני הזה הרוחני. וכך
la 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 Dear friends, the Congress has started already and we received a great gift to serve the whole world clear on this duty together with 10 number 4 from Peter, Omsk, Perm, Shilabinsk, Carmiel, and 10 number 23 from Petach Tikva, and huge friends from the world clear who are sitting right here with us. We have before us an opportunity in the upcoming Congress to take all of our exertions from the last year and serve all those who came to the Congress. So let's deepen the connection between us so that the Congress will be a place for additional souls to come and gather and integrate. And by that, we will give contentment to the Creator. Now, my huge friend Alexei from Peter will speak.
Dear friends, the Congress is already here. Yesterday I had the privilege of going to the Chadera group to be in their campus. And what took place there is hard to explain in words. We prepared for the Congress, and it was just like being in the Congress for a whole day. That's how it was in every one of the 15 groups where this event took place. It was very strong. Now we're giving the microphone to Peter Group to ask the workshop question.
Good morning, friends. A question for an active workshop. With what intention, with which desire, we are preparing for the Congress? With what intention and desire are we preparing for the Congress?
With what desire we're preparing? With the desire to reach spirituality, to reach bestowal. With which intention? I don't know, that's what the Creator wants us to do, and that's what we're doing, I guess.
Yes, to connect, to unite, to give contentment to the Creator.
And the desires constantly change around. The Creator gives us place to work all the time. And the attention depends on me trying to see you already connected. And to request that this picture become a reality.
Yes, many friends are making many efforts, and this Congress is like a summary of a great effort and a preparation for a new effort. And the greatest hope is that all of the friends will receive lots of forces from this thing in order to go to the next stage.
That's why we have to come with great happiness that we got an invitation to this event. And I really want that the desire to awaken the greatness of the Creator and the friends will just go and increase, and there it will explode and just burst out from each one to the other.
A desire that the Creator will help me offload myself, dissolve myself, and bring myself to integration.
The intention to be like the upper force. All our actions, all our deeds, all our integration will be by us building a system that resembles the upper force.
Yes, and in order to build such a system, it's not something that is in my mind or in any kind of mind of this world. Rather, only through our common integration, through self-annulment and the right attitude towards you, to my group, as my 10, to realize that everything that you do, operate and want for me is actually the next degree. How do I perceive it? How do I see it? How much do I want to change through that?
My 10, the whole world will be, that it will be like 110, and will succeed in building a prayer, a correct and exact prayer.
And when the emotion is filled up, the words stop. But there is a request that all of the requests of the friends that are very clearly felt, those yearnings, the expectations we now described, they're in the heart of each and every friend. And it's very easy to ask during this time that those inclinations, requests, desires and intentions of the friends will be realized.
And that nothing is, we shouldn't take anything for granted. We never did such a Congress. That we're just coming there for the first time and just together wanting to demand from the upper force to connect us.
I remember that before I found you, before I found Bnei Baruch, at the time that the point in the heart was burning and I didn't quite know what to do with myself, I remember that I very much wanted to find friends, people who are thinking like me and they want like me, and that I can talk to them about everything that I feel. And I was searching in all kinds of places. I remember that feeling of how much I was missing it, the friends, and what am I going to do with all of this intensity that is suddenly revealed. Why do I recall it? Because in this event, the Creator is gathering all the sparks, all the parts of my soul. He tells me, come Gershon, they're all here, you just have to annul, to integrate, to dissolve, and together you will connect to me. It's like a gift from the Creator that is nicely packaged,
with the intention that the divinity will dwell between us.
I have nothing to add. Like the friend said, you simply have to, if we keep even a little bit of it, it will be a great gain and a great gratitude. We have to make an effort all the time, simply.
I think gratitude is the correct word, because it's not just saying thank you and not just to continue on doing, but it's to actually be in an action that from the point we're in to continue and integrate in the friends, melt in the friends like Gershon said. And that is that different intention we do, from being concerned about myself till now to have gratitude, to get the ability to do the other thing, to want for the friends, to want for you.
And now we have a place, time, the best possible during the day. We are concentrating, we're trying to feel. Let's continue that.
You have to try every time to be even more precise and go deeper in the purity of the intention, that it'll be such that is truly directed and giving bestowal to the Creator, meaning not to receive any fulfillment. Obviously, in the will to receive it's impossible, but it is possible to reach a demand for it. That's our work.
A demand for the light. That all of our efforts in the end are aimed at that a sufficiently great deficiency, sufficiently great desire will awaken in us to turn to Him.
To turn to Him to help us to love each other, to help us to give Him a place in that feeling, a place to be revealed.
למען החי ורעי, למען החי ורעי, למען החי ורעי, עד הבנה שלום בא, למען בית השם אלוקינו, אהבת שטוב לך, 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 למען החי ורעי, למען החי ורעי, למען החי ורעי, עד הבנה שלום בא, למען בית השם אלוקינו, אהבת שטוב לך, למען בית השם אלוקינו, אהבת שטוב לך, למען בית השם אלוקינו, אהבת שטוב לך, למען בית השם אלוקינו, אהבת שטוב לך.
Hello friends, we're reminding everybody that we're not using cell phones during the lesson, except for friends who have duties during the lesson. Please make sure we won't have any rings. Everyone who asks a question, please stand up, hold the microphone close to your mouth, and speak loud and clear. In the first part of the lesson, we will be reading from Rabash Essays, page number 14, concerning love of friends. Rabash Essays, page number 14, concerning love of friends. We'll continue a silent preparation. Hello, we're reading from the book Rabash Essays, page number 14, concerning love of friends. You can go to Kab TV to ask questions, and selected questions will be asked here. So, concerning love of friends, Rabash Essays, page number 14.
It is difficult for us to digest this topic, love of friends. It's as if there's nothing closer. The little child who begins to grow, he immediately runs into more children, and we're interested in him being in a society. So the grown-ups realize that society is something important, and we check the child. How much is he absorbed in a society? How much does he accept them? The way that he's communicating with them. Communication at this age is very important for the child's development, etc., etc. We're much concerned about the society. How much do we invest? How much are we willing to pay so that our children will study in a good school, in a good class, with good teachers, and later on we choose a workplace, according to the compensation, but also according to the kind of people that we will be with, etc., etc. So the matter of society is very important everywhere, on all levels. According to that, we check the nation, the governments, and each and everything according to the society. The fact that we sometimes don't pay attention to it, and the most important for us is the result. Well, in the end, we actually lose. But because of that, if we pay attention to how much our success depends on the society and not even on the expertise, we will see that this is how it is, that indeed the quality of the society determines. And when we come to the wisdom of Kabbalah, there is like a certain opaqueness here. On the one hand, a person comes, he's willing to connect with others, he comes as new into a society, so of course he wants to integrate with them, among them, naturally, to be like everyone and hide between them and get along. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, he sees that here it's something different, that they demand from him, not like in all other societies. You just get in there, you get in there. As in some way, if they take care of him or not. Here he actually specifically hears that you have to go in full force with your heart, you have to love them until they will love him. And here it's a problem. What did not exist in any other place beforehand. Because the rules here are above the human rules, which every person is willing to do, to compromise for. So here there is a very big problem. We simply do not realize what is expected of us. We're blocked, we don't hear it, we don't hear what Kabbalists are recommending to us. And this kind of blockage is achieved after a lot of time, after years that are required, until a person starts realizing that indeed his nature is against connection and will do anything but that. This barrier that he has ahead of him, between him and spirituality, is his attitude to the society. And therefore, many efforts, hours, words of reproachment, and speaking in general are required in order to somehow, through the reforming light, a person starts feeling that he has some sensitivity for this matter of the society, and also a negative sensitivity. But he realizes that without connecting with the environment, he has no chance to be included in spirituality. And he starts relating these two things together, that the acceptance of the society in his heart and accepting the Creator in his heart are actually a single acceptance or reception. And the fact that he never instinctively thinks about the society, it only means how much indeed he's disconnected from the Creator. So here, the society, the fact that he was always putting it on the side until a point where, we need to also think about that and also talk about that. Now he gradually begins, and this is the work of the light. It's not that he wants to or not, it's the work of the light, that he begins to see the society as an instrument that is showing him how much he is connected to spirituality altogether. That the whole of spirituality is hidden behind the society, and it's revealed only within the society. And the Creator is inside the society. And all of life, the upper world and everything is among the friends who want to connect together. It's revealed there, and not any other way. Many years go by until a person begins to feel that that's it. Now I realize what the wisdom of Kabbalah is talking about. And then all of his success in the ascent and descents, all of that, he begins to ascribe to his attitude to the society, because this is actually a very first key according to which he advances. Inside of the society, there are also other laws and other milestones that he will have to go through in the connection between him and the friends, how to include in the society the whole nation and the whole world, and the Creator who is establishing, shaping everyone, but it's all within the society. So, when the society becomes for him the most important point in his field of vision, so that he doesn't move it to the side as it was before, and he ascribes everything to the society, to greater connection, greater adhesion, to different forms of connection among the parts of society, the inner communication within the society. Then, accordingly, you can say that yes, this person is in the right attitude to reality, because all of it is in the society. And then he understands the need for the shattering and of Adam HaRishon, this system, why it was split this way, it was shattered, and now because of that, he has the possibility to advance with just a handful of people, with his 10, and this is enough in order to reach the spiritual peak, truly, to the end of correction. Therefore, we must try to see how much the society, not a friend, not some friends, but the 10, how much the 10 is for us as the only topic that we're talking about. Because within this topic, everything opens up, and this topic, the society, the 10, it includes everything, and other than that, there is nothing. Let's hope that we will establish for ourselves such an image and aim ourselves with such a vision. And therefore these articles, the social articles by Rabash, they will become for us truly the foundation of the spiritual work. So let's approach these materials.
So, Rabash essays, page 14.
If there are any questions, and especially from the guests, if we can say guests, sorry that I'm saying that, then you can really ask and go ahead whenever you want. Please.
Concerning love of friends. 1. The need for love of friends. 2. What is the reason I chose specifically these friends? And why have the friends chosen me? 3. Should each of the friends disclose his love for society, or is it enough to feel love in one's heart and practice love of friends in concealment, and thus not need to openly show what is in his heart? It is known that being humble is a great thing. But we can also say the opposite, that one must disclose the love in his heart towards the friends, since by revealing it, he evokes his friends' hearts towards the friends, so they too would feel that each of them is practicing love of friends. The benefit from that is that in this manner one gains strength to practice love of friends more forcefully, since every person's force of love is integrated in each other's. It turns out that where a person has one measure of strength to practice love of friends, if the group consists of 10 members, then he is integrated with 10 forces of the need, who understand that it is necessary to engage in love of friends. However, if each of them does not show the society that he is practicing love of friends, then one lacks the force of the group. This is so because it is very hard to judge one's friend favorably. Each one thinks that he is righteous and that only he engages in love of friends. In that state, one has very little strength to practice love of others. Thus, this work specifically should be public and not concealed. But one must always remind oneself of the purpose of society. Otherwise, the body tends to blur the goal. Since the body always cares for its own benefit, we must remember that the society was established solely on the basis of achieving love of others, and that this would be the springboard for the love of God. This is achieved specifically by saying that one needs a society to be able to give to one's friend without any reward. In other words, one does not need a society, so society would give him assistance and gifts, which would make the body's vessels of reception content. Such a society is built on self-love and prompts only the development of his vessels of reception, as now he sees an opportunity to gain more possessions by his friend assisting him to obtain corporeal possessions. Instead, we must remember that the society was established on the basis of love of others. So each member would receive from the group the love of others and hatred for himself. And seeing that his friend is straining to annul his self and to love the others would cause everyone to be integrated in their friends' intentions. Thus, if the society is made of 10 members, for example, each will have 10 forces practicing self-annulment, hatred of self, and love of others. Otherwise, one remains with but a single force of love of others, since he does not see that the friends are practicing it, since the friends are practicing love of others in concealment. Moreover, the friends make him lose his strength of desire to walk the path of loving others. In that state, he learns from their actions and fall into the dominion of self-love. 4. Should everyone know his friend's needs, specifically for each friend, so he would know how he can satisfy them? Or is it enough to practice love of friends in general?
Questions? Yes.
It is written that society was founded. We must remember that society was founded on the basis of reaching love of others, and this will be the springboard to the love of the Creator. It's probably easier to say the opposite. It's easier to love the Creator than love others.
How will you reach the love of the Creator without love of others? What do you mean it's easier? It's not easier. It seems to you, to your ego, that way, because with respect to the Creator, you can annul yourself and say, I depend on Him. What can I do? He's the first, right? All in all, I'm just created by Him. This is why I depend on Him. Yes, I'm with Him. I can get along. I'm willing to get along. I'm willing to do what He wants. Well, what can I do? But with the society, who's here before me, what do I get out of it? This is what it's all about. That we see ourselves as being inside the society, and we don't understand that this is a spiritual instrument. We don't get that. We live among people. Everyone around us, they're people. Until one gets a certain impression, a certain excitement that divinity is everything that is around him, that's divinity. This is Malchut. This is the reality of the Creator who is in it. And he starts relating to these things in a way that this is the means in order to implement, to achieve the meaning of his life. It's not going to happen. One has to change his attitude to the world, to all of it, and to realize that this simple habit, how he looks at everyone, that around him there are people, men, women, families, nations, and in general the whole of humanity, and also the animate and the vegetative and the still, he is relating to it as nature. That's what's there. And he doesn't relate to it as a means to reach something. And that is a problem. If I cannot connect with the Creator, I to Him and Him to me, except through this environment. I can't by myself directly be with Him. Rather, I dwell within my nation, only in such a way.
So why do I have to relate to the whole world in a special way if the vessel is only a 10?
Because you cannot relate to the whole world in a special way when you work with the whole world in spirituality. But that the whole world is the clothing of the Creator, that's for sure. You have to relate to it this way. But to work in a mutual way, you can't do it with the world, but you can do it with the 10, because the 10 is like you and you are together. So in the 10, what do you have? The same goal, the same means, the same teacher, the same books, The same method, so everything other than the ego standing between you. All the rest, you agree on it. It's just the ego from within that doesn't agree. Why? So that you will need the others, and you and your friends in the 10 will need the Creator. That's it. If you don't have to break the ego in order to reach spirituality, but only in corporeality have the right connection between you, you don't need the Creator.
So it's clear there's articles how to behave with society, but how do I behave with people from the 99? Is there 10 commandments to working with them?
No, you don't need to have them. You don't need it. If I, in my work with the 10, get an impression from the 10 and from the Creator, I understand everything that the Creator did. Everything is converged within the 10. I hardly have to work outside of it. They all enter, they seemingly come and are included in my 10, and then when I work with the 10, I'm working with the whole world. Okay? Peter.
Раб, у нас два вопроса. Первый вопрос от...
We have two questions. First, from the Peter group, why does a person need self-hatred? Isn't it better to just say to not pay attention to myself? Why should I hate myself?
We have self-love. And our will to receive is impressed by other love or hatred. Towards the same subject, you can't have both. This is why, if we are talking about the will to receive, which has to reach equivalence of form with the Creator, then to the extent that it appreciates the Creator as greater than himself, because he has hatred for himself, since his ego is hindering him from connecting with the Creator. Therefore, to the extent that he hates himself, he can stand above it, above himself, not take his ego into consideration, to even trample it, stomp on it. To that extent, exactly to that same measure, in the same kli, he's building his right attitude to the Creator, and not any other way. Peter.
Правильное соотношение скромности в работе и демонстрации любви.
What is the correct attitude in the work between being humble to love?
Humbleness, it's the same, it's similar. It's like self-hatred and love of others, so it is also with humbleness and love. As much as a person subjugates himself, as much as he realizes that he is devoid of anything good, rather everything within him, it is all a result of the inspiration that he gets from the Creator. To that extent, he is already in self-subjugation and love of others or the Creator. Who did we have there?
Когда мы заботимся друг о друге, у нас не остается своих желаний.
When we're being concerned about one another, we have no desires of ourselves.
Why? These are our desires when we care about the others. One comes instead of the other. That is, in each and every place where before I had self-concern, I now care for others, about the friends. And by that, I build tzimtzum, masach, or chozer, but by this I build a spiritual kli. Yes?
When these desires are filled, so is it better to integrate more in the Creator or dissemination?
Of course, in the Creator, and to calculate how can you give him greater contentment. but in a very precise manner, so that it won't be as though you are deciding. Rather, in truth, the decision is this kli that we have to open up towards the Creator. Whether this is the time for dissemination or the time for inner connection, where should I put the emphasis? Sometimes on this, sometimes on that. That is what determines. Anyone else?
What does it mean to love?
To love in general, it's as it says, make your desire his desire. So I elevate the importance of others, of a certain other, more than myself. Or as he says, if someone else needs a pillow or a chair, then I do it for him, and for me it's more important than filling up myself. This is called to love. And don't confuse it with anything else. Love is tested according to the quantity and quality of investment and subjugation. Rabash would always say, love is acquired through concessions. The more you're able to make concessions over yourself, and instead of your desires, to accept the desires of the others, it is considered that you love them. That's it. In our world, that word love is given a completely physiological and biological interpretation, I don't know, based on hormones and such nonsense, or instinctively like in animals. That, like animals, we the way they love their offspring, so we like our children, love our children. It has nothing to do with love. The love we're talking about is above nature, above instincts, above our physiology. Rather, love is the opposite. It's against man's desire, against his will, and therefore it is entirely through masach, tzimtzum, or chozel, screen, restriction, and reflected light, the measure of concession, where it's clear that I'm making concessions over my desire and the pleasures within it. If it's not concession, then it is corporeal, egoistic love, where I accept the desires of others because it's pleasant for me. And that is a lie. That's not love. It's self-love. True love is when I don't want to receive anything from others and I make an effort and I take his desire, I serve his desire through my desire. Yes?
And the most difficult question, if I love somebody, I'm not looking for any feedback, nothing from the other?
If I love someone, then I do what?
So I'm not looking for any feedback from him?
That's not important. It's not important if there is or not. We don't demand it. We want the love to be pure, absolute, one way, even if there is no response from the other side. I'm talking about my correction. And when I get some response or some feedback, as you say, here there's a question. Maybe this is what I'm working for. If the feedback will go away, maybe I won't be able to love. So from where will I get the strength to love? So the power for all of our true love is the Creator.
A question from new students in the young group. How can you love somebody in the 10 and that it won't cause a separation? Like, I love my 10, but I don't pay attention to the others.
Now, if I limit myself to be in love within my society, gradually I come to feel that the whole world is converged within this 10. There is no more. Truly so. It's not like with a mother that it seems to her that in her baby, they're like all the children of the world there's nobody else other than him. Here it's truly about hitkalelut, integration. As much as I develop within me the quality of love, by that I am bestowing to the whole Kli of Adam Rishon, which is in me, because everything is in me, the whole of the shattering is in me. It's not that anything exists outside of me, it's all in my perception of reality. And then this perception of reality is converged into this one Havaya, 110. All right?
Ken.
Good morning, Rav. Good morning, friends. I have a question. Is there a beastly, corporeal beast and a spiritual beast?
Spiritual beast, sure. The holy, the sacred animals. What does that mean? It's the forces of nature that don't have freedom of choice. And these forces work on the degree of the animate, still vegetative and animate. And on those degrees, we have ones that harm and ones that benefit. Forces from the left, forces from the right. That's what we have, all kinds. And the worst is the serpent. His venom. But as usual, if you know how to use it, so it heals. That's why also the still and the vegetative and the animate, in spirituality I mean, they have negative and positive forces, and they join the forces of man, Adam, as Bala Sulam writes in the preface to the wisdom of Kabbalah, that they ascend and descend with man. Okay? Yes, Owen.
How do love friends not spoil the friends? Oh, precisely help the friends. So what's the difference from our love friends, of kind of charity of the religion, or what they do?
Well, we're not paying attention to all kinds of actions that take place in all kinds of religions, including Judaism. We are just observing our inner work. We have to understand that the wisdom of Kabbalah is something opposite than anything else, including the regular Judaism and everything, because it's only talking about the work in the heart. That's why all of our work is to gather in a minyan or a 10, Havaya, to gather between the 10 friends and work in them, and work in a way that there's nothing else but that, nothing, until we see that the whole world is included in that, and we're all in it. And I don't know, what exactly are you asking about?
I mean, practically offer some help to the friends. We don't need practice. The practical love the friends, if friends need help. You're given, you
Obviously, we need.
let them become a receiver. How to preventing these very subtle feelings and then cause negative effects?
That's true. We need to pass this stage until we start getting an inner feeling of our connection that it is truly spiritual, and that in it we start feeling the Creator, and that we will relate to the 10 as a spiritual vessel. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, maybe 10 or 20 years. And after we start feeling that, it becomes clear what to do. And then we'll never calculate in a corporeal way, because we're going to be like rejected by it. We will have a problem how to use that force, because we already start getting a spiritual impression that it is the main thing, that it's the greatest thing, but it takes time. And for now, when we're in the study for many years and all kinds of actions, and we don't feel that the 10 includes all of reality in it, but really includes it, that we don't feel this form of life, the world yet, that it's organized in such a way. So until we don't feel it, we have all kinds of calculations with one another, and we have to go just blindly. What's written, we have to renew it, scrutinize it, and implement it. Just as we're doing now in the Rabash social writing. So, what do we have here? We didn't read this 1,000 times, but still we see, and even more, every time we see how these things are implanted in here that for sure we don't understand them yet. Now, as much as we're advancing, we see that we don't understand this. We have more questions. Yeah. Okay? Yes, Moshe.
What stages are there in love, if you can elaborate them? Stages in order to reach love.
Love is called that me, with all of my desire, that I've gathered it from all my shattered vessels. I overcame the gap between us, the hatred, the rejection, and I've gathered everybody and connected them to me and became one vessel, the complete Malchut. And then I, through overcoming from having the Tzimtzum Masach or Choser, by connecting all these vessels, in this way I can also relate to the Creator. So the stages in love are by overcoming on coarseness of Yud, of root 1, 2, 3, and 4. The whole ladder is stages of love. What is the ibur, the conception? It's the first love, that I'm willing to annul myself is just to be adhered to the one I love in full devotion. That's the first love. Afterwards, it keeps developing, meaning it's not enough to annul myself and in this way, like in a point, being adhered to Him. By this, I don't feel that I express myself. I want to show my love more, to show it, to express it in something more and more and more. So by what? So I cause the formulation of this desire, more reshimot, more desire, more aviut. And then by this I can not only be adhered like a drop of seed in the womb, but adhered more to add and add and add, to agree with that one I love. I pass my ego to him. I give him my desire in a form of devotion. That's the 9 months of conception, of pregnancy. Then I agree. I demonstrate. I demonstrate my love by being along with him, that I'm already nursing, that I'm willing to receive everything back from him and connect to him, and so on. Then mochin, and meaning the devotion that increases upon my will to receive. And in order to implement it, I gather these desires from all my external forces. I'm willing to just give up on everything as long as it gathers in me, and then in them I can express my love. Meaning it's all built on just conceding, on giving up. On sacrificing. On sacrificing. Yes.
The love of an individual depends on the love of the friends, or it's not important how they relate to me?
What's the love of the individual?
Well, a friend, let's say, myself. My love. I can love if somebody else does not love me. In the 10, of course.
Not only in the 10, also in the world. What does he say about the hero of all, that the mightiest of the mighty, that he turns his hater into his lover? That's why I don't care how they treat me. I have to check myself as long as I love them, as much as I love them. Why? Because it's not them. It's the Creator presenting himself towards me in such a way. And if I was corrected, I wouldn't recognize any stranger in the king's palace or anything.
Yes, but it's confusing. So what is the whole matter of arvut then, that I can't even start thinking about them, not to mention loving, until I have support from them? So what is that then?
There has to be mutual arvut. So you're asking, how can I be in arvut, in agreement, in mutual support in the group, if I am here in front of the Creator? Or what?
No, how can I begin to love if you say, I don't care about how they relate to me?
So not love.
Yeah, it's a condition even before love. So I'm asking, how can I begin to love if they are not in arvut towards me? So it is important, it is a condition, or maybe it's not a condition.
Yeah.
So you just said it's not. It doesn't matter how they relate to me, it doesn't matter so long as I love them.
This is a question of what state you're in. Do you see the Creator behind them, or do you only see the friends? You understand? If you at least start depicting to yourself, if not even recognizing that it's the Creator working in all kinds of all the means, all the circumstances, so you have no problem. You don't relate to people or not even yourself. You also from inside, when you react, you start seeing as the Creator. They too, when they respond to you and even work on you, that's also the Creator. So what's in the middle? The middle third of Tiferet, that you need to connect these things together. That is your independence, that is you.
So it turns out that the whole matter of the essence of Arvut is before a person feels the Creator, before the barrier, then it's important for me to feel the support from them.
Arvut has to be, later on, it becomes Arvut with the Creator. Because who sustains the Arvut? Who sustains the covenant? The Creator. We are waiting for the revelation of the state, that it'll be clarified more or less as a system. Then you'll get all your answers. More?
It just turns out that sometimes when you explain it, it's as though you depend 100% on the friends. Sometimes it's not important how anything. It's all really only depends on the Creator. So
it depends how you're looking at it. Either you still have the observation that you see your friends, or you can see better that you already relate to the Creator through them.
So if I have a bad perspective, what do we do about it?
Bad perspective, try still in each one to recognize the Creator. That is for sure correct. That you're not dealing with anybody in this world and only with the Creator. Everyone influencing you, bestowing you, it comes from the Creator alone, and your ego is confusing you. Okay? That's it? What, Vlad?
So Rabash writes in the beginning, should one be in concealment or show the friends his love? So what's better, he's asking. And then he says you need to show the love. So how do we begin? What does it mean to show love of friends? Because we just talked about the fact that it's an inner state, it's a spiritual action. How do we begin in love of friends?
I imagine to myself that you once went on a date with a girl, right? You bought some flowers, you went to your date walking all like this, right? What are you showing with those flowers?
An attitude of love.
Attitude, supposedly, of love. So what are you asking about? How we have to work towards the friends?
Right.
So here, please, just instead of flowers, bring us some whiskey.
This is what Owen was asking. He said, if I love a friend, can I give him money, or buy him a ticket, or...
You have to bring him, you have to cause good to make him feel pleasant. Right or not?
Right.
That's what you need to do. It's a sign of love. To make the other one feel good, what's else to think about?
So we begin with something corporeal.
Yes, but here, except for this, you need to show your intentions. What are you doing this for? By this, you have to increase the love, that you want them to learn from it and you'll learn from them, and that together you'll start building new relationships. You have to do a very internal action with this in your intention. In great wisdom, you have to activate all of society like this. Akoko, what did you want?
I don't grasp why we need this component of love on the way. Why is it not enough, I don't know, to connect? We want to,
Or to connect.
but why do we have to love them?
What's a sign of connection?
I can connect without loving.
How do we define love? What does love mean?
Concessions. We said that I make concessions and I actualize his desire instead of mine.
So that's the connection. Don't call it love because it's confusing. Connection, the true, correct, the deep integration, desire, and a desire that every foreign desire of me we have to scrutinize what he needs from me. That's called love. How can such a thing take place? It can't. So how do you do it? With the help of the Creator. Nobody can fulfill the other's desire. We also never do it. Or in a false or lying here, as if we're treating each other good and nice. It's all doing for ourselves. Every grace they do, you do it for yourself.
But he writes in the very first item, the need for love of friends, as if you have a desire, a need for it. How come that I suddenly have a need to love someone else to fulfill his desire?
I have nothing, I don't want to love them, I disregard them, but I have no choice. They say that I can win the lottery only by loving them. So I come to them, I look at them. I don't understand how it's possible, but I have to try. Because for me, that's the main thing in life. Without this, it's not worth living. What do I have in this life, right? As he says, the years of life that come so difficultly and we go through them in difficulties. For what? So I make a calculation, and I understand that I can attain something very great here. So for this, I have to love them. They say it doesn't depend on me. I can't love. If I search inside, I have no spark, no beginning towards this. But I know that in everywhere, like when I come for a place of work to study or something, if I depend on someone else, so he becomes important to me because he's in control of me. My future depends on him. So I already relate differently to him. I'm willing to compliment him, do something for him. By this I attain. He promises a good future for me. This is what I do. You don't do that in your work or anywhere you're at? So obviously, yes. We have no choice. We're little animals. And that's what all depends on that calculation. There's nothing except for that here. If I calculate correctly, that the spiritual life I can attain are worth more than a bit of subjugation towards somebody, so I do it. That's it. And also we agreed between us, in arvut, between us, that a man will help his friend, that each one will show me as much as he subjugates himself towards the others. So I'm not embarrassed anymore, I'm not alone, I have examples and envy. Why can they do it and I can't? That's how I advance. Yes?
But it's a bit different than, say, the attitude that you have in corporeality when you go and subjugate yourself towards someone at work, etc., because there, very clearly you see what will happen if you do it. And here,
you have to depict the same thing.
But here the whole thing is hidden from you.
It doesn't matter, but that's the goal. Write down in front of you a few sentences in order to attain the meaning of life. What is that? Revealing the Creator, being in adhesion with Him. How can I do it? Only if I'm in a society. And with the correct connection between us, I attain Him and attain the Dvikut. I raise to the upper, complete world, the pleasures, write whatever you want. But just determine the correct place where it happens. It happens in society. It's in the connection between everybody. And then that goal that you want to attain, if that is specifically where it is, so I have no choice, so now I have to search, maybe not directly because I'm working against my ego too. How can I still penetrate in there? I have no choice. Well, look what we do. Now, except for you being in the 10, and you have to talk between us, how you increase your desire, your longing, your passion, your envy. Don't forget that. And then you can gather forces and do it. It's all possible. And you can't give up on the work, because by this you establish yourself correctly.
The need for the society, for the 10, it's a need that can be established in a permanent way in you, or you're constantly building it in you, that need?
From new, every time.
Why is it so?
And also all the ascents and descents and concealments and revelation, it's always towards society. You see, like Rabbi Shimon's students.
This is clear, but why is it arranged in such a way? Because out in the corporeal world, it's not arranged in this way.
Please give advice to the Creator. How would you do it?
No, I'm not advising him, but...
No, why not? It's good. Here, let Tzvika do it. Do you know how to establish a different kind of reality?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, let's see. How would you do it? But in short.
I buy gifts for my wife. I buy gifts for my wife.
He wants to say that his wife is his whole world.
It's
and
true.
if he buys gifts, so, Gmar Tikkun.
Let's put it this way. You need to buy gifts for the friend, physically, and also your gift is in your emotion. It's all gifts. Like you said, the Creator is also giving gifts all the time. The illnesses and all kinds of things, it's also a kind of a gift. Anything good or bad that happens to you in your life is a gift.
So it's giving, in other words. Or before you have feelings and a desire for it, or after you have a feeling and a desire for it. This is how you come from lo lishma to lishma. First you're forced, then you want it. But it's always gifts. If you think all day, what gifts I can bring society, so really, except for this direction, you don't need anything. Yeah.
Okay. But again, I'm asking the same question. Why, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, the method is arranged in such a way that even if now, let's say, I was able to have some need for the friends, for the society, why these things are raised, and again you have to build the need, and again to build the need. What stands behind this thing?
First of all, there's a renewing of the vessels here. Renewing of the vessels. And this happens a few times a day, if not even more. Yeah. That's how it is. And you can't overcome it, usually, if it truly comes. But learn from it. What can you do with it? Sometimes it's to such an extent, as you heard from Baal Shem Tov, that he forgot the alphabet. He can't read anything. We can't listen sometimes. It's like a language you don't know. It's not the subjects you talked about and that you knew about them, all kinds of things.
Sometimes when I speak before you, I don't even know where I am. What is it that you're hearing? What are you asking? What are you talking about? It passes quickly. It changes, but, well, what can you do? This is the renewal of the vessels, right?
There's something that remains for you that's a stable that you know, or is it always all being erased? Why do you need to remain? Do you want the Creator to arrange everything for you?
Like a baby in his mother's hands. He doesn't think about anything. He has no problem, no concern, no past, present, or future, nothing. It's above time, simply like that. Nature works in him, that is, the Creator is in him. This is how we are.
The transition from moving from the group to the 10 is called the system. It's clear. Meaning there's a 10. I see the resistances and everything to attain the force of the Creator, the system. Returning from that system, when the person discovers the system that he's working before, to a state in which he's working with the 10, it's a little less clear. The 10's not ready. It's not awakening you, and it's not sorting those conditions for you. Awaken it, obligate it, and tell them that they must show the togetherness. It's not that they have to do something other than even artificially unite together. Then the reforming light arrives. You will see how much you're doing it that way. It's like heartbeats. Expansion and constriction, inspection and constriction, it's the same thing. In the 10, by that you are drawing the reforming light, more powerful, stronger, each time anew.
You're talking, and excuse me for saying, my physical body is trembling because there's great intensity here. What does it mean that you're holding the 10 and the Creator together? Because I need to hold these two forces together. So how do you do that?
The society and the Creator?
The 10 and the Creator together.
So we didn't even talk about that. We talked about the fact that both me and the 10 are managed 100% by the Creator. 100%. Nothing. Even the fact that I'm thinking about that, that's also the Creator doing that. That's why all our work is to specifically reach that life that we accept reality in such a way. And then we start to discover that nevertheless, in that point that I want to define, reality is as such, that only the Creator is operating. Then I come to that independent point. Try. It's all about drills, exercises. Each time the more light appears, that is greater, surrounding light, we sort things between us, different connections, and we advance that way. Okay? Who? Peter.
Если товарищи ревностно соблюдают все наши правила, подвозят товарищей.
If friends keep all the rules perfectly, but outwardly, they have only formal relationship without love. So how can we help the friends this way? If the friend does formality, if the friend keeps all the rules, framework, and everything, including everything, but he treats others, friends in the group, in a formal manner.
Well, what to do? All together, we need to understand the friends, that each is behaving in as much as he's capable at the time being. And other than that, if there is a goal and he doesn't go out of the group and he wants to remain, but he has a bad attitude and he's not capable to do it otherwise, we understand that the Creator is playing with him that way. We need to tolerate it. That's what our correction depends upon also. Someone comes to us that's kind of cruel. Who? Gershon, who? How? Shy. Okay. And then we don't know what to do with him. We must keep him in the group. If there's a goal, even though he's crude and he's kind of like shaking up the group in his way. The Creator's doing that. We have to tolerate it. We're prohibited of letting him out of the group or letting go of him. Only if he's truly harmful, and we need to really examine this well. If he's truly harmful, meaning where you feel that he is going against spirituality, against the Creator, and that he's between us as if he came to truly harm, he is expelled. Okay? Yes.
Раф, если одни действия мне легко даются, допустим, мне легко дать, принести в группу бутылку виски, допустим, подушку я не могу отдать, но при этом мучаюсь всю ночь. Что меня продвижает?
Let's say there are actions which are easier for me to do. Let's say give the friends something to drink, but on the other hand, there are actions which are more difficult for me to do. Let's say I don't sleep all night because of it. So what is more beneficial for the advancement?
Well, I understand that whiskey is not the topic that's close to you. A pillow more. That's clear. To give a pillow or a bottle of whiskey, there's a big difference. Give, for the time being, the whiskey. Think how it's possible to come to a state in which I give a friend, and what by that, what I should feel by that. Either I feel that I've contributed to him or took from myself out of my own flesh, or that I depict to myself how much he enjoys, and that's my pleasure. Or that I, who am giving to him, is 620 times higher, greater in my eyes, more rewarding than whether I was to use that pillow myself. Make those kind of calculations. And here you can already start to see what it means to concede. There is no concession. We're receiving more. We're entering into the field of bestowal and enjoying bestowal 620 times more than before in reception. And therefore, only that psychological barrier that we have to pass, that we can enjoy bestowal and not reception, and it's 620 times more eternal and whole. And the Creator is in it, in this pleasure. He's there, and you are coming to adhesion with Him. Try to make such calculations to see those things in a true way, and see, possible or not. Exercises.
To go a bit deeper, how to express the love towards the friends. Let's say battles for the whole 10, but I only have one pillow.
I didn't understand the question.
How to express your love towards the friends correctly, because...
Meaning, I don't have a means by which I can bestow pleasure to the whole 10. Only to one person. Those are calculations. You need to scrutinize many things here. It might be that I'm prohibited of doing anything here with this. I don't know. Maybe I'm evoking envy, hatred, lust, honor. I don't know what to say. Usually we do it towards the group. Usually it's towards the group. Only in special cases where I have truly a calculation of doing something, either to show the group something or towards a friend, then I do it towards someone special. Okay, what are we actually doing? Peter. We're not going to advance this way. Peter.
Vladimir from Peter is asking, love is born in a 10, and it has to be at least between two friends, and love can be also between man and wife studying Kabbalah together?
Each of us can do in his family all kinds of exercises with his partner. That's up to him. We don't push a person towards that, even though Rabash was supportive of it. But we have tens, and here it is certain that he can express himself. But if he wants to define such relations at home, please, he has a spouse or a partner, please do it. But with the spouse, not with all sorts of other cases that are maybe temporary or something like that. I'm talking about seriously. I'm saying this seriously. Only under the condition that that's his wife, a person can start with those processes, like in the group, and reveal there truly a world and then some. But under the condition that it's a spiritual zivug, coupling. Okay? Yes.
Fabricio from Argentina is asking, where can I receive the force to love my friends? How can I love them without any fuel?
From the Creator. What fuel? Where does he receive it from? From his ego. He also receives from the Creator through the ego. So now he'll receive from the Creator, not through the ego, but as a help against him. It's always fuel. We don't have anything. We altogether need to go through different states and differentiate. In what way the light is playing with us. Yes?
Pasha from Moscow and Rusi from Croatia are asking, each and every one receives from the society love of others and hatred of oneself. How can friends help a friend acquire hatred of oneself?
By showing examples of themselves. Okay. We have a whole hour. Well, last one.
Rav,
to continue the questions of the friends. So what is necessity? Where is the necessity between a pillow and a bottle of whiskey?
I don't understand the question. Necessity in what? That it's not too much or too little? Necessity is considered that I must receive something in a corporeal manner in order to sustain myself, exist, and in the rest, bestow. That's the meaning. That's called necessity, the corporeal necessity. I need to supply my body with, how many do they say? 1,000, 2,000 calories a day. Yeah, that's it. I must. Well, that's called necessity. The spiritual necessity is delighted in mercy. Chafetz Chesed. Chafetz Chesed is the same thing, only in order to exist and all the rest to bestow.
So what is annulment before the friends?
Annulment before the friends is where I nullify my ego, I cancel my desire to use it for the sake of myself, I keep only enough to sustain myself, and all the rest of the desire I try to use to bestow to them. What's to bestow to them? What do I need to do? I want, with this desire of mine, to absorb their desires, to understand what they want, and to try to pass it to them, to give it to them. What do they want? They are also in the same process, and also don't want none of them wants anything for themselves other than their corporeal necessities, which there's very little to talk about. So we need to supply each other arvut, spiritual arvut, because there's nothing else. That's the only thing we need. That's the only thing that each of us necessitates, and that's what we need to do.
Thank you.
Me?
Who?
Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina.
Yes, Argentina. Look, they found Hats. How did you get hats? Such hats? All over the world.
No.
Well, can you hear?
Good evening. Can you hear us? It's great joy for the entire Argentinian group to share with you how the entire South America is preparing for this Avut, which is going to take place in Israel on February. A great friend of ours from Argentina is coming to Israel. This is Miguel. He's coming with his daughter. And the rest of the friends. We will be with you online in Arvut with all of you. And a large group from Chile are coming to Israel, about 20 friends. And we're going to have a Mira Congress in Santiago. And in Peru, well, 4 friends from Peru are coming, 2 couples, 2 married couples. And 2 friends are coming from Ecuador to Bogota to a Mira Congress. There will be a Mira Congress in Chancay and Mayabamba in the north. And also a few friends will gather in Orlando. They will be coming to Israel, and the rest will gather in the center, and we'll have a Mira Congress with South America. 2 friends from Colombia are coming to Israel, and there's going to be a large Mira Congress in Bogota, and friends from all over Colombia and Peru and Ecuador will be there. The friends from Ecuador are going to the Mira Congress in Bogota, and the rest will gather in Quito in order to share together this beautiful, amazing Congress. 4 friends from Brazil are already in Israel, and the rest will gather to watch the Congress online together. The wonderful group of Mexico, well, 9 friends from Mexico are coming to Israel, and there's going to be a large Mira Congress in Guadalajara.
Y se van a quedar participando virtualmente a través del Zoom, donde haremos todo.
And the rest will participate via Zoom.
Nos dice que no se desaniman por no viajar y que se toman muy en serio cada clase, cada taller y cada congreso.
They take every lesson, every workshop, every congress very seriously. So, dear Rav, dear friends from the World Kli, we want to thank all the friends. It's a great honor for us. And after a long time,
a través del Zoom, a través de la pantalla, en tren, en subte, en avión.
We've watched the lessons via Zoom and behind the screen. Every place we're going to be, we will be connected with the love of friends.
Wonderful. L'chaim. Nice, huh? It sounds... Also there, when you travel, these are great distances. I've been with an airplane not once, and it's not simple. Okay. What are we doing next? To repeat the article, maybe take the next article. Let's go to the next article. The next page.
Next article, Love of Friends, Social Writings of Rabash, page 16, Love of Friends. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, "What are you seeking?" And he said, "I seek my brothers." Tell me, I pray you, where they are feeding the flock. A man wandering in the field refers to a place from which the crop of the field to sustain the world should spring. And the works of the field are plowing, sowing, and reaping.
Also, where's the field? Between us, in the group. That's where the produce needs to come, and all the work, and all the end of correction.
It is said about that, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. And this is called a field which the Lord had blessed. Baal HaTurim explained that a person wandering in the field refers to one who strays from the path of reason, who does not know the real way, which leads to the place he should reach. As in, an ass wandering in the field. And he comes to a state where he thinks that he will never achieve the goal he should achieve. And the man asked him, saying, "What are you seeking?" Meaning, "How can I help you?" And he said, "I seek my brethren. By being together with my brothers, that is, by being in a group where there is love of friends, I will be able to mount the trail that leads to the house of God. This trail is called a path of bestowal, and this way is against our nature. To be able to achieve it, there is no other way but love of friends, by which everyone can help his friend." And the man said, "They are departed hence." And Rashi interpreted that they had departed themselves from the brotherhood, meaning they do not want to bond with you. This, in the end, caused Israel's exile in Egypt. And to be redeemed from Egypt, we must take it upon ourselves to enter a group that wants to be in love of friends. And by that, we will be rewarded with exodus from Egypt and the reception of the Torah.
Workshop. In what stages do we come from the field, where there are many thorns and problems, bad beasts and problems, to a field that was blessed by the Lord, until we receive from that blessing the spiritual produce, the attainment of wholeness. What is the fruit that we need to receive from the field that the Creator has blessed? Please. Quickly, guys. Each wake up.
In order to reach that field, that fruit, it is the common goal that we have to give and share with each other.
Yes, it's the returning light. We need to connect and reach the restriction, and we get reflecting light.
And in order to reach such a demand for that reflected light, first of all, we need to discover that we are wandering in the field, that he's trying to find his friends, and he sees that he has no contact with them.
And we do this through investing in the friends.
We try to see behind every friend the Creator. And in the connection between the friends, the revelation of the next degree of the Creator.
Maybe by a person discovering that he's one of those wild beasts in the field, and he comes subduing himself to the group that way.
Perhaps this is the fruit that we need to get, which is love, or at least some desire for love, as we have described in the lesson.
And to receive this fruit is actually, like Gilad said, about love. It's coming to a state in which we at least want to be in love of friends. That's that fruit.
Because we are focused on unity. We are focused on looking for the connection, the relationship between us, and we're asking the Creator to help us.
And that's the whole purpose, goal of revelation and the wandering of the bad beasts, just to lead us to the approach to the Creator.
And what are these bad beasts? These are the relationship that we discover, and we understand that the most important thing is the connection between us. And there we reveal the truth, and the fruit is that revelation of wild animals, which build in us a common prayer to reveal the Creator in that field.
Yes, we see the thorns and the animals, those things that we discover in our egos, are all on the way to the revelation of love between friends, which is spiritual love. Rav, what's the difference between Esau's work in the field and the work of Jacob in the field?
Yes,
they both exist inside of us, inside man. The field also exists inside of us. It's all inside of us. Please. Let's go.
Perhaps Yaakov is a more advanced stage in the work, when he's already working with more exalted, pure kelim.
Yes, Jacob in the field wants, like in the article, he's looking for where there's love of friends in this field, and Esau's seeking where the field is to fill himself.
So this is the calculation at the end. What am I doing? Why am I doing these actions for inside that field? In the 10, let's say now, being practical. So why do we make an effort to connect? Why do we want to reach love of friends? If it is for self-benefit, then it's a sav. If it's also for a true intention to bring contentment to the Creator or to achieve the quality of bestowal, this is a little bit of Yaakov.
Yeah, if I'm seeking here love for myself, then that's Esau. If I'm enjoying it, that the friends love me. If I'm living only in order to love them, only in order to live for them with the help of the Creator, then that's Jacob.
To Esav, we reveal a need for help from the Creator. Because actually these are the desires which bring us down and leave us in a field of separation between the friends.
If I'm not wrong, Esau was a hunter. He used to hunt animals, right? There's a chance that Esau is the one who identifies the animals in the field, and maybe I'm kind of like in my imagination, and Jacob helps correct those things.
I assume it's a kind of work that we have parts of in us that need to work on our ego, and there are parts where we need to work on the quality of bestowal, all kinds of discernments inside the work between the friends.
These are probably states that we all go through all the time. Esau is our natural state where we want the field for ourselves, and Jacob is the state that we want to reach all the time.
And there's great benefit from trying to describe those states, although we haven't got a clue in them, because by that we draw the line that reforms.
Rav, why is the exodus of Egypt when we truly come to a certain connection between us in the group? Why is the exodus from Egypt considered whether you somehow connect to the group? It's not yet a group really, but somewhat. You start to kind of accumulate as a group. Please.
Perhaps the difference is in being in a group. Well, this is initial state in the relationship, to accept upon ourselves that the group is our superior, that the 10 is our working field.
Also, the group, the 10, discovers that we can't exit, we can't connect, and they cry out for the Creator to do the action.
Yeah, you cannot leave Egypt self-love by my own powers. This is the greatest revelation of Egypt that necessitates us to get together as a group.
Yes, and what other possibility is there? Either a person lives inside himself, or he wants to live inside the friends, inside the group.
We are reading the article again, Love of Friends. Next article. They helped everyone his friend, page 18. We must understand how one can help his friend. Is this matter specifically when they are rich and poor, wise, fools, weak and strong? But when all are rich, smart, or strong, etc., how can one help another? We see that there is one thing that is in common to all: the mood. It is said, a concern in one's heart, let him speak of it with others. This is because with regard to feeling high-spirited, neither wealth nor erudition can be of assistance. Rather, it is one person who can help another by seeing that one's friend is low. It is written, one does not deliver oneself from imprisonment. Rather, it is one's friend who can lift his spirit. This means that one's friend raises him from his state into a state of liveliness. Then one begins to reacquire strength and confidence of life and wealth, and he begins as though his goal is now near him. It turns out that each and every one must be attentive and think how he can help his friend raise his spirit. Because in the matter of spirits, anyone can find a needy place in one's friend that he can feel.
What am I benefiting from helping a friend? That's the first question. Down to the point. What do I benefit from? By thinking about it, from carrying it out. I've done it. Where's the profit? Please.
The profit is in my external kli. This is my spiritual investment. I give from myself not in order to receive for myself.
The profit is by me thinking and executing and not thinking about myself.
The profit is the effort that comes along with that action which is opposed my nature.
Yeah, really, the profit is me thinking of the friend. That's the action itself is the profit. As at last, I have been privileged to not think about myself.
Yeah, the profit is in having no profit for my ego. But I did this action, and there too should be a calculation. How do I receive?
The calculation needs to be that it will be an action that is aimed towards the cause for which I do something to the friend. As in this action, I'm doing something for the Creator.
No matter how we look at it, eventually it is all egoistic. No matter how you look at it. If the goal is spiritual, and spirituality is not in me, in the others, and I want to achieve spirituality and bring contentment to the Creator. So having an opportunity to think of a friend or do something for a friend, something which is supposedly not for myself, then this is the reward. I'm coming closer to my goal.
I drill it. I make this world into a laboratory where we do experiments. And Kabbalists say, bestow something that appears external to you. You'll start getting discernment, and with that, turn to the Creator.
by coming closer to the Creator. In that case, if I manage to do that, if I manage to do something for the friend.
The profit is also that there's the reforming light in it. Because helping a friend, if it's an egoistic calculation, then I profit from it. I don't know that it's considered help, but help is considered to awaken him for the importance of the goal, which is certainly against my nature. And then there's light in that action.
Even now, if we think about the friends, there is no profit in it because we're here and the friends are not here. So it's already a profit because we include them with us, and now they're with us in the same workshop, in the same inner effort.
I do an action that the Kabbalists tell me to do. That's very important.
Because by that I draw the reforming light.
Yes, I'll repeat the friends. I'm doing an action that the Kabbalists tell me to do, and by that I draw the reforming light.
I do an action, what Kabbalists advise us to do, and by that we draw the reforming light.
Rav, meaning my whole kli is truly outside of me, in the friends. All the desires of the friends are actually my soul, the kli of my soul. And if I bestow to them, help them, I'm not helping them actually, I am just doing a spiritual action in the correction and filling of my soul. Meaning I need to see the friends, not as friends, but as the carriers of my soul, and in them I should concentrate all of my correction. How do we do that? Let's say I imagine to myself now the group, reality, that the group, the 10 that's before me is my soul. What do I do in order to correct it? For myself, bodily, I just need a few calories a day, and that's it. All the rest, I'm thinking about them. What do I do? Let's say I came to such an awareness, such a recognition. What do I do with it? That's the question.
Perhaps if I could reach such recognition, then I would be able to also pray.
I've come to the awareness that what's outside of me is my soul, and then what do I do to correct it? That's the question? I don't know.
Do everything possible in order to help those parts to connect, in order to help those desires to come closer to the Creator. I do everything I can do.
Actually, all that remains for me to do is to do it so that the only picture that remains is that it is my soul, that the friends are my soul, and I am just the one who defines that. There's nothing other than that, that's me.
In every situation with the friends, it's a kind of a compass to where I am with regard to that feeling called soul, and what should I want to change in me so that I will truly be able to have an inclination to bestow.
Where did I get that recognition from? From the Creator. It's a simple, huge sign. So I need to take it with both my hands and to add more and more in prayer.
Because only with a prayer one can determine such an action. In fact, it is to determine that the friends are my soul. It is self-annulment. And for every settled discernment, I need to dissolve in them. And I can do it only with a constant appealing to the Creator.
Yes, and until that materializes, we can play with it. Like now, we simply play in being the parts of one whole soul, and that's from within and without, and try to express such a thing.
It's pretty clear from experimenting and mistaking that there's nothing that can give you such discernments like working with the friends. The moment you connect to someone who is close to you, who has a similar spiritual goal, then you understand how disconnected you are in your ego.
If you're capable of doing that.
Yeah, and probably naturally we're incapable of it. Even if when we're talking about it right now, it is still hard for me to see you as part of my soul. So probably we need light to change our perception.
And for
that we need to truly be in efforts that every friend is a part of me. When we see such a thing, when we exert in this, nevertheless, we can start relating to every friend as part of the Creator.
I hold them together in Arvut.
I need to decide that there, inside this soul, there's the Creator. The only quality of bestowal that exists in reality, meaning there's no me. I need to make efforts to hold on to one picture that the Creator is in the friends. That's the new I.
Yeah, it actually shows me my most greatest desires, which are the friends. And it shows me how much I want the Creator, how much I want Him.
What do I do? I simply continue. Like the strengthening of the arvut and the connection is what gives us the possibility to not leave.
We're move on to the next article. What does the rule "love thy friend as thyself" give us? What does the rule "love thy friend as thyself" give us? What does the klal rule "love thy friend as thyself" give us? Through this rule, we can come to love the Creator. If this is so, what does keeping the 612 mitzvot give us? First, we need to know what a rule is. It is known that a collective is built of many individuals. Without individuals, there cannot be a collective. For example, when we refer to an audience as a sacred audience, we are referring to a number of individuals who have gathered and formed a unit. Afterwards, a head is appointed to the audience, etc. And this is called a minyan, or a congregation. At least 10 people must be present, and then it is possible to say Kedusha at the service. The Zohar says about it, wherever there are 10, the Shekhinah, divinity, dwells. This means that in a place where there are 10 men, there is a place for the dwelling of the Shekhinah. It therefore follows that the rule, love thy friend as thyself, is built on 612 mitzvot. In other words, if we keep the 612 mitzvot, we will be able to achieve the rule, love thy friend as thyself. It turns out that the particular elements allow us to achieve the collective. And when we have the collective, we will be able to achieve the love of the Creator. As it is written, my soul yearns for the Lord. However, one cannot keep all 612 mitzvot alone. Take, for example, the redemption of the firstborn. If one's firstborn is a girl, he cannot keep the mitzvah of redemption of the firstborn. Also, women are exempted from observing time-dependent mitzvot, such as tzitzit and tefillin. But because all of Israel are responsible for one another, through everyone, they are all kept. It is as though everyone keeps all the mitzvot together. Hence, through the 612 mitzvot, we can achieve the rule, love thy friend as thyself.
What is considered to observe the mitzvot?
Please.
To observe the mitzvot means, well, perhaps it means to do all kinds of actions which we are commanded to do on behalf of bestowal. We have to have such relationship towards the other, relationship of bestowal. And if we don't observe that, then we don't observe the mitzvot.
The unification between us enables us to observe mitzvot fully.
It means to observe part of that rule of love of friends, annulling oneself, preferring the friend's advancement towards the goal.
Yes, in our efforts to put the friends in and ask for them and guide for them, we're doing mitzvot. We're correcting the connections between us.
The commandment is a commandment of the Creator. It's a commandment of nature to have right relationship between people, and we have to observe it if we want to reveal the Creator.
To do what the upper tells you and feel that it's a commandment.
These are probably actions whose intention is already in order to bestow.
Rav, why is reaching the purpose of creation possible only through observing Torah and mitzvot? Why can we only reach the purpose of creation through the observing of Torah and mitzvot? Please.
In order to give contentment to the Creator, we have to treat each other the same way.
In the same way of love, like he relates to creation, but we're opposite him and can't relate to it like him, but only in the opposite of love to ourselves. So that's why we need the Torah.
Yeah. Our intention is constantly for ourselves. It is an egoistic intention. We want to reach the intention of in order to bestow, and we cannot do anything about it. Only the force that created it can help us, which is the light that we draw, that helps us correct it. The correction itself, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, the way I understand it, is called mitzvah.
Only through this process of connection and working with the light and prayer is it possible to actually take this process and make it a conscious action where we're aware of what we're going through.
I don't understand what the purpose of creation is and not what Torah and mitzvot are. So as far as I'm concerned, all I have to do is do and ask to have the strength to do.
Yes, and this request, these feelings that we have, these are the actions that are Torah and mitzvot because they have in them a desire to reach the state that the Creator prepared for us. And only that force can... Rav, why were the Torah and mitzvot only given after the exodus from Egypt? Why can't you observe Torah and mitzvot unless after the commitment in Arvut? Please.
If we are not in a voot with each other, if we don't help each other be in such an inner pressure of performing an act of bestowal to want it,
Rav, everything begins and ends in the group. In the group. The exodus of Egypt is considered that we at last understand that there's an ego between us in the group and that we're not capable of connecting between us. We must have the upper force here, and therefore we need to run away from it. from Pharaoh, yes? Then we'll be able to connect. When we start to connect, our desires, only our desires towards each other in the 10. A person towards the 10. That's in the first 9 as he wants to connect with himself, meaning with his malchut. That's considered that he is included in, as we say, in the field that the Creator has blessed. And then in the connection with the friends, when he sorts those relations in order to bestow, it's considered that he's inverting his desire to receive in order to bestow. By that he corrects his desires, and it's considered that he's observing the mitzvot. By the reforming light, which is called Torah. Meaning the observation of Torah and mitzvot has to be only in the 10. It can't be any other way. Only in mutual bestowal towards each other we discover a place where it can happen. Only by trying to come to this do we discover that it's possible, and that's what the reforming light is meant for. And then when we connect between us in the form of mutual bestowal, it's called a field which the Lord has blessed. That's where His blessing is, and that's where He Himself is revealed. What is not understood from all those things? Please? Yes? Because I hear from what you're talking that there's still an unclear form of what's not clear. Depict it to yourself. Yes?
The correction is on the desire, my desire, or on the desires of the 10. Arvut in what?
Arvut is by me with all the forces possible that are given. I am in the connection with the group towards the goal. What is just whatever is possible. One will help his friend.
So again, which desires do I correct? My desires or the 10's desires?
There are no desires of mine and of the 10 between us. Between us. What 10? I need to correct the first 9? No. I need to correct myself? Also not. I need to correct the relationship, the connection.
Between what and what?
Between me and the 10. More? Please ask. Because I see that there's still confusion in this. Who? Yes?
What I don't understand is how to shift those things from the mind to the heart.
That's done by the reforming light. If you deepen in that and stand on that, it'll happen. But first of all, you have to depict this picture. The 10, that's it. Other than it, there's nothing. I am working towards it. What's between us is revealed as 620 desires. In those 620 desires, if I correct them to in order to bestow, by the reforming light, I have the right connection between everyone on the degree that's enabled to me. Shoresh Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet of the world of Asiyah. Shoresh Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet of the world of Yetzirah, and then the Bria, and so on and so forth. 125 degrees I do. There's nothing more than that. So we have the help between us in the 10 in a corporeal manner. Envy, lust, honor, all kinds of things that kind of help us. A pillow, a bottle of whiskey, no, it doesn't matter what. And there are between us the commitment spiritually, where each has to do so with his 10. Where he has to be incorporated in it to receive only what is necessary for him, and all the rest to bestow to them. In such a way, he discovers that he's not bestowing to them, but he's bestowing to the Creator. And by that, observes the whole Torah and mitzvot, spiritually. Clear? Who? Peter.
A question from St. Petersburg.
Когда есть подъемы и падения, может ли последовательность заповедей нарушаться при работе в десятке, когда есть подъемы?
Keeping the Torah and Mitzvot gradually can harm the work in the 10 when there are ups and downs?
I don't know. In truth, that's a wise guy who's asking. Gradually, whatever is opportune to me. I don't know what. I also don't know why it's opportune to me to work this way now and later, or for another differently, and in another moment something else. I don't know. That's the general system, which includes the whole of all the souls, and they're being corrected in all sorts of systems as such. That is all what defines my personal work. I don't ask what is being revealed to me along the way, but whatever is revealed, I have to work on that. Because it's being revealed from the general machine, the general system, which is called Boreh, the Creator. Creation. Okay? There's nothing else to ask? Yes? Microphone, please.
Rav, I can't pray for myself, and I can't see flaws in the friends. So do I have a direction for my prayer in a descent?
At a time of descent, it's a problem. I'm telling you, the descents that you are discovering now are still kind of a light form of it, because you don't yet have the great gaps between the great differences between ascents and descents. Where in the ascensment you'll have revelation of the Creator, revelation, adhesion, feeling, understanding of everything that you have to, and then all of a sudden, boom, a spiritual loss of consciousness, and also a form of nonsensical stupidity and even corporeal awareness that you couldn't even imagine that you're as such. Like you see sometimes they're like this primitive form of behavior of people, and the way they behave, they don't need anything. You're even worse than them. That gap between the ascents and the descents will be huge. What to do? Continue immediately. Close oneself and continue with automatic actions. You're moving into automatic transmission mode. Because everything that you have, the 10, the study, Yeshivat Chaverim, what else do we have? All kinds of things. You do it like an animal. You execute. You come, you sit. You sit. You can't do it any other way. In your mind, you don't understand a thing. In your feelings, nothing. But you observe it physically. That's actually great work, and it is very fruitful, because you agree with everything that is done to you as long as you receive an awakening to bestow. That's it. That's the work in descents that truly brings a great blessing. And you can't do anything except for, if there are friends that will awaken you, like Baal Shem Tov's janitor who helped him, like that, one will help his friend. In the sense, that's how it helps. And then you see how blessed those times are, because by that you receive new reshimot, which are being revealed from the shattering. So you have to go through such a state in which you're a beast, and once again the reshimot of Adam are revealed in you, which are corrupted, and you correct them. You corrected them. Once again you fall to the degree of beast. New reshimot awaken of Adam. You once again rise to correct them, and that's how it happens. That's why this state is a good state, only to give the Creator the opportunity to work on you. And you're completely passive, an animal, a beast. but you know that now is the time that He's operating on you.
Moving on to the next part of the lesson, but before we do, let's sing a song together.
צא החוץ שוב נעלם, הכל חוזר להתחלה, אתה מרשיע את כולם, מתוך לבך עולה תפילה, כולנו נשמה אחת בים של אהבה, והוא הטוב והוא אחד נותן לנו בחירה, כולנו נשמה אחת שוחים בים שלו, עכשיו הזמן שנחזור, אתה בוחר להתפטר כלפי החברים שלך, בעזרתם להינצל, הם העתיד הטוב שלך, כולנו נשמה אחת בים של אהבה, והוא הטוב והוא אחד נותן לנו בחירה, כולנו נשמה אחת שוחים בים שלו, עכשיו הזמן שלנו, עכשיו הזמן שלנו, עכשיו הזמן שנחזור.
השיעור מבוסס על מאמרים מהספר כתבי בעל הסולם. את הספר ניתן להוריד באתר קבלה לעם, kab.co.il.
Hello, we are learning from Kabbalah for the Student, Article 600,000 Souls. You may ask questions on kab.tv. We are reading an article, not from Baal HaSulam, from A Sage's Fruit, from the Essays of Baal HaSulam, on page 246, Article 600,000 Souls.
Yeah, let's continue because the article is very special. It's written in a special style and we'll go through it. We may repeat it. Let's start.
246, second last paragraph. We learned that even if one man came before his master in complete repentance, the Messiah King would come at once.
This in itself seems something, weren't they people like that? If even one man came before his master in complete repentance, so it's probably impossible to come before the master this way, because unless the whole world is one man, and only this whole direction, whole correction may come to happen. Yes.
It seems to mean, as they said, that Moses is equal to 600,000. We need to understand it, since this would mean that there are twice 600,000 souls, the soul of Moses and the souls of Israel.
That's what it says, that Moses is equivalent to 600,000, as if there's 600,000 apart and Moses apart. How can it be the same? So ultimately he's trying to say that there is only one soul. Yes.
But the truth is that there is no more than one soul, as it is known by the measure of each and every soul that purifies and cleanses itself from its filth. Hence, when all the souls are corrected, they will draw onto them the entire higher soul of Atzilut to each and every soul, since the spiritual is indivisible. At that time, the Lord shall be king over all the earth. Hence, while even a single soul is denied of complete purity, the extension of Kedusha will be deficient in every soul from Israel.
Meaning this is an integral matter. Ultimately, we're all one body, but in this body there are parts that depend on each other. Why? Because the communication between the parts is what creates the 620 times stronger part than the single body. Is this clear? No? I don't know how to explain this in multitude. Okay, there's the matter of one body, and this one body made of many parts. When these many parts connect together correctly to one body, this body, it's as if one force, still force, small force acts in it. Nefesh de nefesh de nefesh. Whereas if each and every part expresses its attitude, its relation to the other parts, so the more they become integrated, each part is included in all the others, because it has to know how to communicate with the others, not only with the others, rather through all the others to each and every one. And then it turns out that every part becomes like the entire soul. And about this, on this, there are more and more and more integrations in these 125 degrees. Therefore, when we reach it, we don't reach an area, we reach a sphere. Meaning there's a full integration here, where all the parts are just like the general body. In short, we don't have the words to express it, but the Creator, when He wanted to reach this state where the created being resembles Him, He must put the light in the will to receive. Except for the will to receive, He doesn't need anything. Then He puts these qualities in the will to receive and let them work. Let them work. And then, by the light passing all its qualities to the will to receive, this will to receive comes closer and closer and closer to a state that it's whole, it's complete, just like the light. This is what's happening to us. Yes.
And when a single soul from Israel is purified from all its filth, it will draw unto itself the whole of the soul of Atzilut, and through it all the souls of its generation will be completed. This is the meaning of one being dependent on the other, As it's written, it was befitting that divinity would be upon him, but his generation was unworthy of it.
Meaning here there's the matter of an accumulation of many, many conditions throughout all the degrees until it happens that the Kli is corrected to such a degree that it absorbs in it the entire light of Ein Sof, which is called the coming of the Messiah.
The content of the words is unanimously bewildering, that the same soul that was rewarded with purification immediately strives to increase the grace of the generation and asks for them until it elevates its entire generation to its merit.
Meaning that everyone depends on everyone, on the free choice of each and every part, and the action of each and every part. Until that happens, the general Kli is not corrected.
This is the meaning of Moses is equal to 600,000. Because he was their loyal shepherd, he had the same Kedusha that the whole generation had.
I have nothing to add here. It's better to do it later. Bit by bit, we're going to reach it. What the meaning of Moses is equal to everyone. You can say that this is the point of Keter in the Partzuf, not the upper half of Keter, because that belongs to the Creator. Rather, the lower half of the Keter, which is its representative to the created being. So, of course, he's equal to everyone, because through him, all the orders, all the actions, all the vessels, from above downwards, from below upwards, in direct and reflected light. That's why he's equal to everyone. Does he include everyone? Of course. Because in a Chab de Keter, he cannot pass all the lights if he's not included in all the deficiencies. Therefore, he suffers for everyone, for the sake of everyone, and then he is rewarded with the light for everyone.
Indeed, the whole is found within each item, since in the end, all the souls will unite into one discernment, returning to their spiritual root. Hence, all the miracles and wonders and all the journeys they had traveled throughout the world during the 6,000 years should be experienced by each soul. The good soul draws to itself from all the discernments of Kedusha before it and after it, and the evil soul does to the contrary. And the changing times are considered generations. However, each generation behaves as its judge by the mind that judges it, since it receives from the Kedusha of that time. For this reason, each soul is willing to draw the souls of Moses, Aaron, Samuel, David, and Solomon within it, as times that it experiences. During the exit from Egypt and the reception of the Torah, the soul of Moses appears on it. During the 7 of the conquests, the souls of Joshua, and during the building of the temple, the souls of King Solomon.
Meaning these are spiritual discernments. That's the way we name it, by people, according to the names of people. But we receive them as names, and we call people by these names. But actually, these are spiritual degrees, spiritual discernments that we attain. Yes?
This does not refer to the above-mentioned souls in particular, but according to the rule that we said, that the spiritual is indivisible, as soon as one is rewarded with a soul, he is rewarded with the soul of the whole of Israel, though according to one's merit and place. Hence, at a time when one is rewarded with these wonders, one receives into himself the abundance of the soul in that disclosure, Hence, the name of the owner of that disclosure is upon him.
Meaning this state exists, it's constant, it's there already. The final deed is in the preliminary thought. Therefore, what you get is these complete things that are pre-ready, predetermined.
And they said, all of Israel are sons of kings. A king that dies, all of Israel are worthy of kingship. This is a great secret, for in all the previous generations, which were but a preparation for Malchut, special kelim vessels were required for the anointment of their judges, such as the souls of Moses and Samuel. But the final purpose depends on the whole of Israel, since when a tiny part of a tiny spark is missing, the end will not be able to appear. Hence, all of Israel are worthy of kingship, since everyone is equal in this true discernment. For this reason, there is no special kli for drawing that perfection, but anyone who cleanses and purifies his soul to be worthy of extending the revelation of Malchut in the world will literally be called King David.
This means there is no difference between the souls. Ultimately, everyone reaches Malchut, meaning that apparent, big, infinite form. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, on the way, there are still changes and differences because the order is from pure to coarse. Therefore, we see the changes, as he says here too, right? David, Solomon, Moses, etc. There is a difference between them, but it's all on the way. Ultimately, each and every soul, every particle of every soul, as he says, there are 600,000 souls and sparks of the souls. And so each and every one attains this entire general neshama, entire general soul, holy. So why does one awaken before and another awakens later? We cannot say, because it depends on the general system of the entire soul. To the extent that it's grand, it's divided according to the Sfirot, Partzufim, and the degrees of coarseness, basically. So accordingly, each one has his own time to awaken. But in the end, each one attains the entire soul in general. Yes.
This is the meaning of David, king of Israel, is indeed alive, for he has not died at all. His kli is within each and every soul from Israel. This is not the case with the soul of Moses, which is found only in the wise disciples in the generation, as well as in prophets and priests. This is the meaning of a king that dies, all of Israel are worthy of kingship. This is also the meaning of exempting the public. This is the meaning of, at the time of the Messiah, chutzpah, impudence, will mount, and the child shall behave insolently against the aged, and the base against the honorable. This means that even an ignoble child will dare to extend his kingship to the world as though he were one of the elders and the honorable in the generation. Should the ignoble too, one who is a lowly and base soul at its root, aim his heart and purify his deeds to become worthy, he will be rewarded with extending the whole of the soul of a holy nation in his soul, with all the wonders that the holy nation has tasted thus far. This is because they were all but preparations for this wholeness. Hence, even that particular soul must taste everything, and he will buy his world in an hour due to the ability of that generation to extend the crown of his kingship which contains everything. And all need the owner of the needles, and every element in it is required. This is the meaning of their words. Even if one man came before his master in complete repentance, the Messiah King would come at once. This means that whoever it was, even if it were only one man in the generation who was rewarded with extending that soul by himself, he will be able to reward his whole generation, since all who are obliged exempt the public through their duty. And he can do much praying and hold his own until he rewards his entire generation. This is not so with other kinds of redemptions, which were only in the form of preparations and did not belong to each and every one. For example, the giving of the Torah belongs specifically to the generation of the desert and to Moses. And any other generation, even if they were more worthy, did not extend that discernment, and neither did any other person besides Moses, for they were interdependent. However, the Messiah is ready for each and every generation. Because of that, it is also ready for each and every person to extend the discernment of the Messiah, as in all who are obliged, as mentioned above. And the reason is that anointments concern the correction of the kelim, and the portrayal of all the kelim as equal, since any division between them is only in their chabad, by their measures. Hence, from the minister who sees the king's face to the one who sits behind the grindstone, all are equal servants in bringing back the old glory, and in that there are no degrees between one another.
Questions? Yes, Tzvika.
It's not simple, this 600,000 souls.
Not simple. He explains the entire system to you. Of course.
It is complicated, he says.
It's not complicated.
A little bit.
No. Don't say that. So if you do that, you limit yourself. No, it's not complicated.
He says that the final purpose depends on all of Israel.
Yes.
Then he says on the other side,
wait a minute. It all depends on the definitions. What is the meaning of the entire Israel? The all of Israel. What does one soul mean? What does the Messiah mean? King David, all these things. You have to define them in their spiritual characteristic, and then you won't be confused. And if you define it as spirituality, don't bring it to corporeality and start comparing the two. You can't. You have to rise above time, space, and motion, meaning there are no human beings. All there is the will to receive that seemingly broke, and its parts seemingly go through corrections by the light that reforms. That's all. So first of all, establish this system before your eyes in a way that, as if this is the way you see it, you depict it, and then ask.
This is what I don't get. Even if one person will be able to extend that soul, he'll be able to merit the entire generation, because that will take the general and reward the entire generation. So that's not clear. One person finishes his correction and corrects the entire world.
So again, you're talking about in an individual aspect, but there is no such a thing in a spiritual kli. It's wrong. If you correct yourself, you have to correct everyone. When you correct everyone, you correct them, you cause their correction, and when each one has to correct himself, following you, it turns out that everyone corrects everyone.
So you're talking about Hitkalelut.
Hitkalelut, of course. Integration. Yes. May it be so that one person would do that. This is the meaning of the coming of the Messiah. What does it mean that the Messiah arrives? That the general desire, in the general desire, a single desire awakens that can awaken everyone. By that, it awakens itself out of its own deficiency. And then, except for that, open over there. Yeah. So he corrects himself. Through them, he corrects himself, and he compels them to correct themselves in the integration, in the itkalilut between them and him. So what turns out is there is a general correction, but the special thing is this one who can correct everyone. He's called the Messiah. He draws everyone to the general correction.
What does it mean? There'll be someone specific that will pull everyone?
You.
Me? I'm small.
No. That's wrong. That's not right.
Why?
I'll tell you. Even more than that. We won't understand this, but each one is the Messiah.
There's one.
Okay, I said nothing. Everyone. Each one.
Wait a minute. So please give us a definition. You leave us hanging in the air all the time. So explain a little bit. What does it mean, what you're saying?
No, it's impossible. You have to see the whole system in an integral way, how it closes down.
So what's the relation to 600,000 souls, this whole thing?
That's how we mark them. It's not really 60. It's 6 Sefirot. The moment they rise, in Zeranpin they're called 60. When they rise to Rosh Derech Anpin, they're called 10,000. That's it. These are only symbols for corrections. That's it. Just as I'm telling you that today you're in the height of more than yesterday. Yesterday you didn't have a Rosh, a mind. No, today you do. Okay. These are all symbols. Yes, Dudi.
Is nefesh, a soul, is that an individual feeling or a collective feeling?
There is no individual feeling. There is no individual feeling. Whatever I discover is the inspiration or the presence of the Creator all over the Kli, in the entire Kli, in the 10. It doesn't matter how I depict, but it's described, it's depicted in me as light within the Kli. It's not an individual. Individual meaning it's my feeling. So anyhow, it's my feeling, always. I never feel what you feel. Later, when we are integrated, that's in a whole different degree. But whatever I feel is not in me, it's in my integration with others.
When he writes the individual, is that a 10? Is that referred to as 10?
Yes, of course. A spiritual individual is a 10. You can't talk about something.
So what's the good soul and the bad soul that he refers to here?
It's difficult to say because every place it can be relative, one compared to the other. I would say that it's either in an ascent or a descent. In the soul itself, there's nothing good or bad because the evil angel becomes a holy one. So, according to our dictionary, it won't work. Killing Amalek. Of course you should kill Amalek. Amalek means al menat lekabel, in order to receive. So of course you have to kill it. This intention in order to receive. But here we have to go a bit deeper into the spiritual insight to be impressed of it. And then we can interpret the Torah or understand what the Kabbalists write to us in the genuine way.
What's this point of transition from soul to the collective soul of Israel?
The collective in Israel are the ones who can integrate with an intention of giving contentment to the Creator. They are called Yashar Kel, straight to the Creator, and that's the rule. That's the collective. Because still there are divisions here, and above these divisions you connect. Then you're called a collective. Collective is not wholeness, it's on the way to wholeness. when between us, say, there are all kinds of... We feel that we're different, and above it, we connect. Love covers all crimes. So it's still like a sandwich. There's evil and there's good. If we're talking about the final correction, so there is nothing evil. What is that? I don't know. How can it feel good without bad? We don't understand.
What's the difference between a soul to the general soul of the collective soul of Israel?
A soul is individual, and the soul of the entire Israel, it's when all the souls, the desires connect. And there's still a difference, but there's unity above it. So then it's called the soul of the entire Israel, a collective of Israel. So the direction has to be like always 2 points, like an arrow. So from an uncorrected place to a corrected one. That's called Yashar Kel, directly to the Creator. Does the concept of Israel remain there in the final correction? No. Because there's no direction to Yashar Kel. Everything is integrated. It's an adhesion. More? Yes?
Rav would like to give an update about the Congress.
We'd be happy.
Okay, so translators, take a deep breath. First of all, the North America virtual, from friends from America, we have 90 people coming to the Congress, and half of the men in the virtual groups said they're coming to local Congress gatherings, and there are going to be big mirror congresses, including in St. Louis and North Carolina. Last night there was a women's Zoom all over around the world, 300 virtual connections on the Zoom, and the women were supporting the men all around. I guess it was a huge celebration. And the Women's Clean Israel gave gifts between each other, passed on clips, supporting the men and the Congress, and a little bit of stats. Okay, so we have 3,950 people who have signed up at this point to the Congress in Israel from 65 different countries. And it's the first time we have 400 new people that are going to sit with us and are going to get this treasure. 380 people signed up to the open evenings. 180 people signed up to the guided tour of the site for the translators, the kitchen, and the whole site. 880 people signed up from the world Kli who are coming to Israel. And even students in the first and second semester, 150 of them are coming to the Congress. And Rav, it's been revealed that the Creator is revealed in the airport. Many friends have signed up to the welcoming team, friends who pick up friends from the airport. On Thursday, 90 friends are going to arrive, so whoever wants to reveal the Creator is invited to sign up to the welcoming team.
You're here. Are there any problems with visas when people come to Israel, or is it usually organized?
All in all, there aren't any problems, and if there are, then we're available to take any. There are some delays in the airport because of but nothing serious, nothing to worry about. And if there are any issues, you can turn to me. And friends are getting great service. We just wanted also to mention we have 13 friends from Turkey who are coming to the Congress. Chaim.
Chaim. That's because of the good care they're being given. Okay, more questions? Who?
No, Lawrence.
Well, Lawrence.
What does it mean that the king dies and every man in Israel is willing to be the Malchut?
That's what you're missing. Leave it. Yes?
how to repent.
How to repent? This is very simple. Come closer to your friends as much as you can, reveal the Creator in them, and adhere to Him. That's the meaning of repentance, when the Hey returns to the Vav. Adhesion through the group to the Creator is called tshuva, repentance.
What is the correct way to use shame? It's like a
gift, but how to use it?
It is a gift, so
how to use shame correctly.
Try not to let this feeling close you down in the corner that you're ashamed. Rather, it will bring you out to act to the group. And then this shame is a very strong and correct incentive. You should. This is a blessing. Shame is a blessing. If a person feels it, it's really, well, may we succeed. More? Yes.
This article is so powerful. Baal Sulam describes here an opposite world.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would say this article is not finished. It's not really ready for print.
Right, but he's describing like a different galaxy, something out of this world.
Yes.
One soul and how each one can be a Messiah and correct everyone else.
True.
What's the relation between this world? How can a person understand this?
We can't understand this. Until a person starts getting some kind of impression from the contact with the Creator, which is a general system that entices everything, the two worlds, and then past, present, and future are no longer relative. The Creator is clothed in the whole world and in you too, and He's working behind the scenes, doing all the actions, and before you, all over the world, He's doing the actions. If you don't live this, if you're not into this, you cannot understand this article. That's why, well, we read it, okay, because there are many points here that you can use, but it's only single points.
It describes the actual study, and it's possible that so many thousands of friends will be at the Congress. Will we be able to come closer to that?
Oh, we have to work according to our ability, and here this is too much, this article. Too big. What else do we have? What about this evening? Where are we tonight? Where's the usher? Someone who can tell us? Come and explain. What, you need a special invitation?
Starting from today, we're making the transition to the study hall downstairs.
This evening?
Yes. The Zohar lesson.
But it's the same hours.
Right, everything's the same hours, but all of our activities from now until after the Congress, for about a week after the Congress, the morning lessons, meals, Zohar, everything, all the activities will go to the hall downstairs. I'll just remind you that you should take your study books, because we're going to be learning Zohar Volume 4 and Rabash Volume 1 and Writings of Baal Sulam. So if you need your books from the study hall, then take them out of this room, because this room is going to be closed. The study hall is going to be closed. So
Okay, the daily task from Argentina. Please, Argentina.
Argentina,
please.
¿Con qué acciones pasamos del campo
with which actions
al campo
do we transform from a field that has unfounded hatred to a field that is blessed by the Creator? Again, through which actions can we transform from a field that has unfounded hatred to a field that is blessed by the Creator?
Thank you very much, Argentina. 2 announcements. Zohar lesson. Tonight, you're all invited to watch our Zohar lesson live with Rav Leitman, 6 o'clock, Israel time. Open Friday. Viewers of our channel, friends all over Israel, come join us to a special lesson and meal Friday, 2:45 a.m., 12 Nevatim Street, Petach Tikva. If you want to come, please register at 1-700-519-209. Thank you to all our TV viewers. Have a good day. We're all one family. Worldwide International Kabbalah Congress. You're all invited to the Congress that will take place in Tel Aviv on February 20th through 22nd. For details, www.kab.co.il now or Kabbalah TV
info in English.
Let's watch a short clip.
Most powerful moments in life. You cannot explain with words. But you can only feel.
הקיר שלי ושלך, זה מה שאנחנו נבחר להיות, זה כאן ועכשיו ועת לעשות. זה לא ייגמר אם הפחד ישלוט ולא יעזרו עוד מכות עוד דמעות, אבל יש עוד סיכוי ויש עוד תקווה, על כל הפשעים תכסה אהבה.
לא
it already.